Everyone, good afternoon. Very warm welcome to Tramshed here in central Cardiff, where Boxer and Sky Sports are delighted to announce that on May the 11th, Lauren Price MBE will challenge Jessica McCaskill for a WBA World Welterweight title at the Utilita Arena. Now, unless my Google skills have let me down, and I can only apologise in advance, but I think there have been 13 Welsh world champions, starting with Percy Jones all the way back and all the way through now to Joe Cordina. But if Lauren Price can dethrone our American visitor, one of the best fighters in the world, she would become the first female from these shores to do so. Price also became the first ever Welsh boxer to capture Olympic gold, and is yet to lose a round as a professional. But the jump in class is significant. We welcome our visitors from the United States, Jessica McCaskill and her coach and manager, Rick Ramos, a two-weight world champion, a former undisputed belt holder at 147 pounds, who twice beat one of the greatest females of the modern era in Cecilia Brackhouse, and has more world title fights than Price has had professional bouts. Now, it's either fortune favours the brave and the right time to make the jump and make the fight, or it's a bridge too far and it proves that there can be no substitute for experience. On May the 11th, we will find out. Ben, great fight to make. It probably wasn't easy with the negotiations to get this through, but you're confident, and you always have been in Lauren Price, but it is a game of risk, it is a game of high stakes and a game of chances. So why are you so confident that this is the right step up for Lauren against a quality champion?
Yeah, first of all, big thank you to Rick Ramos and Jessica, because this is a huge fight for Lauren and a huge fight for her as well. I think Lauren's broken that many records in her life. You sat there after 6 fights, having not lost a round, and you're thinking, she's just levels above this. She needs a real test. And so this opportunity came up. Jessica McCaskill, a two-weight world champion, and you sat there and you're thinking, now we have the opportunity to go to Cardiff. When we sat down and we signed Lauren, there were 2 things on the list: become a world champion and fight in Cardiff and build her name and build her legacy. And you look at what Katie Taylor has achieved in Ireland, you look at more recently what Tasha Jonas has achieved in Liverpool, and that's what she wants to do in Wales. That's been the dream from the start. To do it this early, many will say maybe it is too early. I know Jessica and Rick, for them, this is too early for Lauren Price. This is her 7th fight. She hasn't been at this level before, but when you've got someone that's broken records throughout her career in many different disciplines as well, you take those risks, and it's a huge opportunity for Lauren. Obviously, her talent is unquestionable. Can she do it this early on in her career? Can this be the start of many famous nights? And yeah, I think we've got possibly a British boxing legend, a Welsh boxing legend in the making, but this is a huge test and one that she can't look beyond.
One of the key words there is homecoming. So you're always going to do a homecoming, be it in her debut, or be it for her first world title fight, or be it when she won the British title. But presumably now is the rallying cry that you need everybody that is a Lauren Price supporter, you need everybody that is a supporter of Welsh boxing to come out on the 11th and make it a Lions Den atmosphere. Not that I'm sure Jessica will mind one bit, but atmosphere is key, home advantage is key as well.
Yeah, and we've seen it so many times throughout the years in Welsh boxing, and I expect the same since we signed Lauren. The interest from Wales, the interest, I don't think we see it necessarily if you're based in England, you're based in Scotland, but the interest in Lauren, BBC Wales, S4C, everyone wants to be part of this event, broadcast this event, because she truly is a star. She's the first ever Welsh boxer to win a gold medal. She's an MBE. She's the most decorated British boxer in the amateur sport of all time. They're very proud of her. They want to go and see her break records now in the professional sport, and they get to have a famous night where she fights for her first world title on May the 11th. I expect a huge atmosphere and a very famous night.
Okay, I'll come back to you, but I want to welcome Team McCaskill. And Rick, I'll come to you first if you'll permit me. Welcome back to the UK. You've been all over the world, boxed together as a team. This is nothing new for Jessica, but when you listen to Ben Shalom there, it's all good copy, it's all good headlines, but do you think that these guys have made a terrific mistake?
Yeah, you know, Jessica and myself, wherever we go, we try to win. We come to win. We upset some people that we probably shouldn't have on paper. we're just here. We're grateful to be here. Boxer, everyone, Ben Shalom, John, everybody's treated us tremendously since we got here. So we're excited. We're obviously trying to derail the Lauren Price train. All respect to her and her family. But we're just here to put on a good show.
The boxing landscape, I mean, someone in there having had 6 professional fights, challenging for a world title, okay, it's not particularly unheard of, but at the same time, is there any substitute for experience? Jessica has done it against the very best, beaten the very best. Lauren could be the best, but we don't know yet, and that's the big question. We don't quite know how good Lauren Price is.
Experience plays a role, obviously. Fighting in your hometown, I think a lot of people think that you have the advantage, but a lot of times that the media wants you running around, doing appearances, and you have your family and your friends are very close, and sometimes that's a distraction. But experience plays a role. Jess seen it all, been through it all, and we're excited to be a part of this fight. And like I said, we just want to derail the Lauren Price train, respectively.
Yeah, before I move on to the fight, it's just how confident are you?
Like I said, we're confident in what we do. Obviously, I understand her background. I understand that we're in her hometown. I understand what we're going up against. We could potentially be going up against the judges. So as long as everybody plays by the rules and plays fair, we have a chance to put on a great show, both of us. Win, lose, draw, whatever, we came to play.
I'll welcome the champion. Plenty of nice things being said about you up here, and this is nothing new to you. Is there any feeling of disrespect at all that someone in their 7th professional fight can come and rip those titles away, or is there kind of a mirror image here? You were once the Lauren Price coming through, and you were challenging champions, and you just know that that's the game.
I see a lot of that, what the latter, I see a lot of myself in this specific situation, and as far as where boxing for females was and where it is now, that's exactly what we need. We need people not to be afraid. We need people to take the challenge. We need people to stop waiting around for someone to get old or to lose or to whatever. And we're just trying to build female boxing, and this is how you do it.
You were, part of 2 incredible fights, really, with Cecilia Brackhouse, which was if you don't mind me saying, a passing of the torch moment where you took it on and ran with it. How do you guard against the same happening to you and Lauren Price coming through and being the Jessica McCaskill in this situation?
I feel like Cecilia was very much kind of put herself on a pedestal in a way and forgot about what boxing really is. It's fighting for everything that you've put into the sport. I don't see my friends all the time. I'm missing my dog right now, and I don't get to travel back home and, things like that. And there's so much sacrifice, at least for me, that every time I get into that fight, that person is paying for my sacrifices. So I think she forgot a lot about those things of what boxing really is, and she just let herself kind of age, and she just got the torch taken from her.
And you can guard against that, obviously, with yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that I'm not, I feel like I'm very focused, and I'm not letting people get to my head or things or, the flashing lights or things like that. It's not about that. It's about every morning that I get up at 3:30 to go train, and the people in the gym that are training with me. Those are the things that keep me driving, and as long as I have them, there's no reason to feel like I'm not ready for this.
I think the UK boxing crowd is a knowledgeable crowd. They know when they're witnessing a good fighter and a great fighter. But at the same time, there's no point in me beating around the bush. You are going to get probably a hostile welcome. How do you cope with that? How confident are you that that won't affect you? I know that you talked about yesterday maybe getting some Rick Ramos boxing scarves. I don't think that will help you in this regard, but yeah, a couple of boos are probably going to make their way during your attendance here.
I welcome the boos. I welcome the energy. It's just the energy, and energy is transferable. And so if you're giving any kind of energy out, I'm going to take it and I'm going to transfer it to myself and use it for whatever I need it to be. So, if they're for me or against me, that's okay, and I'm going to use that energy.
Is it too soon for Lauren?
My Katie Taylor fight was around the same time, 6, 7 fights, and it catapulted me being able to show what I could do in the ring with Katie Taylor with only 25 amateur fights, catapulted my career. And I think that this could do the same for her. And I don't think it's too soon. She's an athlete. She's all around athlete, not just boxing, but she's played other sports. So I think she'll be fine. She'll be safe. She knows her body. If it were anybody else, I would probably say, yes, this is too soon. But I think this is a good challenge for her.
Rick actually said to me off camera, it's one of the first times that you actually like your opponent. You like Lauren Price, which is great because I think, security, you can have a cup of tea at this stage. Famous last words of a fool. But you do have admiration for her. It doesn't mean that you once the first bell rings, I'm sure respect goes out the window, but it doesn't mean that you don't appreciate what she did as an amateur and as a pro so far.
Right, a fight is a fight is a fight, and on fight day, that's exactly what it'll be. But I have an appreciation for how she talks about her team and how she seems to be well taken care of, and the drive that she has. We did interviews yesterday, and she was at the gym doing the interview. She had just finished working out, and so it's just like I see some of the key aspects that you should have as a fighter, and they're showing up. And I don't know Lauren personally. I just, I'm so over the dramatic calling people out on the internet and saying like rude and ridiculous things and flipping tables. I'm not going to flip this table today. So I'm just kind of over that, and I just want to fight and do what I can before I'm done.
Yeah, well, I welcome everything you said there, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to have a good fight. You don't need to do that in today's boxing. Hopefully, let's bring in Lauren. Can keep that table screwed down over there as well. Great to see you. This is a chance you've been banging the drum for. Ron McCracken's been banging the drum for, but you've timed it hopefully perfectly. But why are you so confident that the 6 fights that you've had so far have prepared you for this jump in quality?
I think obviously when I first, turned over professional, I turned over as Olympic champion. Everyone expected me, to move fast. 6 fights, and when you look at them 6 fights, I feel like, I've enjoyed myself in there, and I haven't really been tested. I haven't really got out of, first gear, if anything. I've won the rounds quite comfortable, every single round on the scorecards. So for me now, it's going to be my 7th professional fight. I want to be involved in these big fights. I got complete respect for Jessica McCaskill. She's a legit champion. It's not as if I'm going in there boxing for a vacant title. She's been there, she's worn the t-shirt, and I got total respect for that. I know it's my toughest test to date, but I believe in myself. Rob believes in me, and that's it really. I believe I win, and yeah, I can't wait.
How did that conversation go with Ben? He'll give his own version of events, no doubt. But did you say, bring me the best name? Bring me the biggest name, don't need to worry about how I get there, but I want a real challenge?
Yeah, going back, obviously, I last boxed in December, and, I said in fight week, I put it out there, I would fight any one of the champions, and I got to, give respect to Jessica again, for giving me a chance, because the others, they didn't want to know. So, complete respect there. And like I said, I just, can't wait to get on now, May the 11th. I know it's my toughest test to date, so I'm going to train my arse off these next 8 weeks and give it my all.
What do you think you'll feel like at the top of that ramp? I've already heard you say in interviews, I want to do what Joe Calzaghe did here. With that place packed out, top of the ramp, walking to the ring in your first world title challenge, you strike me as someone that's very much in control of their emotions all the time. But do you think that you'll sort of soak that up and that'll give you the extra sort of 10%? Do you think there'll be some good nerves there? Do you think you'll feel ready at that point to fulfill your destiny in the pros?
Yeah, definitely. Like Ben said earlier, I had 2 things on my list when I turned over. I wanted to box in Wales and I want to become world champion. And yeah, you look at obviously like Welsh boxing, for me to follow in the footsteps of Joe Calzaghe, he's a complete legend, and that's what I want to do. I want to become a Welsh legend. I want to bring big nights back to Wales. And don't get me wrong, it's a little bit of added pressure. It's different. You're coming out in front of your own fans, something I'm yet to experience. But, I've had pressure throughout my whole career, going into an Olympic final with the whole nation on my shoulders, expected to win gold. I've dealt with pressure, and I'm sure, I'll come through, with flying colours when it comes to, like you said, walking out in front of my own fans and soaking it all up, and being at home and having that Welsh support, because I haven't boxed at home for about 10 years. So, yeah, it's going to mean the world to me.
I think we're in an era now where we don't have to make any differentiation between male boxing and female boxing, but it would be silly not to make the point that you would become the first ever Welsh female to win a world title. How does that sound, to be the first to do it?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, obviously, like going throughout my career, I've made history a few times, and, to add that to my list as well, I'm very proud to be Welsh. So yeah, to become the first ever, yeah, that'll be special.
This is all great but you have to make sure that you do it. And I know Jessica and Rick will be sitting there and listening to this saying they think it's a done deal. What sort of fight are you expecting from Jessica, and putting it bluntly, how do you beat her?
You know, for me, obviously, like Jessica, I think, you know, looking at her fight, she likes a dog fight. She likes, you know, for you to get dragged in, kind of make it messy sometimes. She's tough, she's strong. But for me, I just got to listen to Rob, you know, listen to what I've been working on, stick to my, you know, boxing. I believe I'm the better boxer, use my speed, use my skill. And, yeah, just, you know, take it round by round and win the rounds.
Are we all falling into a little bit of a trap that I think you are pigeonholed, you are put into a bracket of you're a come forward, aggressive, front foot fighter, but I know previously the two of you spoke about there's more to your game than that, and you have tried to show that, particularly in your last couple of fights. Are we all being a bit blind to put you in that bracket that you can box if you need to box, but you also have tremendous success when you are attacking?
I don't think there's an appreciation for the boxing that I do, or any of the more thought out things that we do in the ring. I think that they're overlooked because people are looking for those, you know, big right hands or things like that, or they're looking for that pressure for me to walk somebody down. So, like, you know, I definitely came in as a brawler, and he taught me how to box, and I don't think that people see it. So I think it's still just kind of under the radar. Oddly enough, but, you know, I do feel like I get put into this bracket of brawling, and which I love. I kind of hate boxing. I love brawling, so it's not anything that's offensive or anything like that. It's just kind of what I've done for so long, and over time, Rick has been able to give me some other elements.
I'm not trying to create a fake beef here, but do you think that, I heard you say it yesterday on Sky Sports News, that perhaps people were thinking that it's a done deal, that the fight is already won? Because
of me or my experience or is that what you mean?
More just some of the comments in terms of like, you know, Lauren's got her chance now. Everybody knows how good she is here. That maybe they think it's a done deal already. That perhaps you're not getting the credit you deserve as a champion that's been around for best part of, well, since the Katie Taylor fight announced you, I think 2017 from memory.
I feel like I just normally get downplayed. I have a lot of firsts, and, you know, some of those things just kind of get, you know, walked over and not paid attention to, maybe because of the opponent or maybe because the fans of the opponent, but it's just something that I have to bring back to everybody's recognition of what I can do, and I'll have to show it every time I show it, but I'm going to have to show it.
Rick was calling for a level playing field there and fair judging. I mean, one of the ways to ensure that is to not leave it to the judges. You do hit hard. We've seen that. There's evidence of that. Do you believe you hit hard enough to test the chin of Lauren Price and win this inside the distance? Yeah,
I feel like, you know, every fighter has the opportunity to make that happen, and I feel like I'm going to look for those opportunities, obviously. But like you said, you know, it's up to the judges to be fair. It's up for the referee to be fair. It's not fair when you go into the locker room and you say, I expect this, and then when you get into the fight, the other person is doing those exact things, you know. So you look for everybody to play their role and not get caught up in what's going on, and to make sure that they're doing their job. I think it's really important.
Your amateur career, is there a style that you haven't faced? Is there anything that you haven't seen? Is there anything that Jessica brings to the table that you haven't done, albeit with a vest and a head guard on?
No, you know, you look at obviously I box at middleweight as an amateur, you know, I boxed against Savannah Marshall, I boxed, you know, I've had 75 kilo Russians running at me. There's nothing, you know, I haven't faced from even boxing, you know, top technical level boxers in my Olympic final, boxing against, you know, the Chinese. No, you don't really get no more technical than that. So for me, you know, from an amateur point of view, I have faced every style out there. Don't get me wrong, you know, I know pros are different to amateurs, and I know this fight is going to get tough at times, but I'm going to prepare for that. Like I said, I got a great coach in me and Rob. You know, we seen what he done with Frotch and AJ. He knows the game inside out, and I fully trust his in with him. So, you know, I'm working with him the next 8 weeks, and I truly believe, you know, I can go all the way and create greatness and become a Welsh legend, you know, and bring big nights back to Cardiff.
I'll give you the final opportunity just to pass a message to each other. I mean, it doesn't have to be blood, guts and thunder. I don't think we're going to get that today, but what will you say to Jessica as your parting message?
Just, you know, good luck, have a great camp, and I'll see you on May the 11th.
Same thing. I mean, I have high expectations for you. I think you're doing some amazing things in boxing, and I want to see you do well, not well enough to beat me, obviously. But I just hope that you're going to do everything right in camp, and so that when we get to this fight, it's on.
And Ben, not pushing you under the bright lights, presumably there's undercard news to come in the coming weeks as we build towards this big event in Cardiff.
Yeah, it'll be a huge night for Welsh boxing. I do urge everyone to come out, and it's not every day you have a fighter after 6 fights wanting to test themselves. It really is a great fight, and it's a great test. But yeah, a full card, a lot of Welsh talent on the card as well. It'll be a great night for Welsh boxing on May the 11th, and fingers crossed we see something spectacular.
There you go. What a lovely, pleasant press conference that we've had here today. We will now pose the fighters for a head-to-head at the front, and then there'll be plenty of time for everyone to get one-on-ones with everybody at the top table. Thank you very much for joining us today.
I've just been treated to the sight of Johnny Nelson crawling along the floor on his hands and knees to stay under the camera. He's just sat on the sweater of Lauren Price's Nana thing there, which is just an unbelievable faux pas from Johnny Nelson. But you can't take him anywhere. What did you make of that? Because it was very, very civil. It doesn't have to be the case that fighters have to go at each other. If that legitimate, authentic, mutual loathing sometimes is there, then it can work for publicity purposes. But we've got two fighters here who are they're really solid and secure in who they are. They don't really feel the need to say anything other than what they believe to be facts.
The fact is this: Jessica McCaskill got up there. She says she respects Lauren, which she does do. She says everything Lauren's done, I did when I was in that position when I boxed Katie Taylor. Again, it's common sense. How she talks about Lauren, she's done her homework. She knows everything about a sporting career coming through. That means she understands the threat that's in front of her. So it's about self-belief. She knows what she's capable of doing. And again, the way she talks, she's saying, you know what, she's kind of keeping it in place to say, you know what, you'll learn from this. And it's talking to him that way. You learn from this. You'll be all right here. I'm the boss here. And that's how the conversations it's got to flow, and that's what she's got to do. She's got to kind of subtly trying to stamp her authority to say, I'm the boss here, but you'll learn, and you'll do all right. Basically accepting you've lost, but good on you, I'm your friend. Where's Lauren? Lauren, you flick a switch. You flick a switch when the bell goes. There's no need for nasties, and both girls can switch it on when they need to switch it on. But when it comes to fight time, that's when the professionalism will turn up.
I remember a really similar kind of dynamic when Anthony Joshua boxed Vladimir Klitschko. Obviously, they knew each other from sparring camps and stuff like that, but Klitschko took the big brother role, didn't he? The kind of, this is too soon for you, but never mind. Yeah. I'm sure you'll do well, and it'll be a packed arena, and everybody will be pleased for you, and you'll get some credit for it, and you can come again, don't worry.